Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So as you can see, I'm playing as the Lizardmen, and I've got Mazdamundi on Zlak over there. And he actually looks quite small in front of all these, well, behind all these skinks, doesn't he? No, that's not true. He's actually very big. Yeah, fun fact. Fun fact. Anyway, so, Mazdamundi. So, I guess it's Dwarfs, so I quite like Mazdamundi, honestly. His area of effect abilities are great, because if you kind of go at the Dwarves at all sides, they're going to end up clumping up. Especially if you've got someone like Zlak running around in the middle. You can soon sort of, you know, have Lord Maz... Oh, hey, dog. If you could hear that, you know, that noise, that's my dog scuttling into the room. Anyway, we need to do your claws, don't we? Anyway, so, Lord Mazdamundi, he's great. So he can run in, everything will swarm around him. You can then surround that stuff with more lizards, and then you can hit them with the ruination of cities and a banishment and things like that. And frankly, Zlak can just kill a ton of stuff in melee. That weapon strength, anti-armor, and armor piercing, it all goes a long way, so he can get a lot of work done. Also, Apotheosis is really nice. Curse the Midnight Wind is great against dwarves, because lowering melee attack by a set amount, when, you know, the whole army has pretty crap melee attack. You know, if it's a percentage, it wouldn't be as good, but because it's a flat amount, it just ruins them. Also, lowers armor a bit, which means my huge line of skinks might actually achieve something. I mean, skinks are crap. They're here just to pin stuff down and be a nuisance and get stuff wrapped up. Also, I've got a couple of skink chiefs. These guys gives me a couple uses of cold-blooded in case, you know, Zlak takes a bit too much damage and has to get the hell out of there. I've got a couple of ways to heal. But also, I just really like them. I mean, they do some alright damage over the course of a whole match, but not a lot all at once. So usually in this matchup, when you've got all this other nonsense running around, they're not a big target, so they can get gunned down pretty quickly, but there's usually bigger concerns. So these guys can get a lot of damage. You know, they can kill a Slayer per shot, or they can kill artillery crews pretty happily. Once things do blob up, they have the rocks to drop. They're just kind of useful. I quite like them, and they're, what, I think 800 a pop on the Pterodon, which isn't too bad. So I quite enjoy them. Also, Cold One Riders, Cold One Riders, Cold One Riders, and I have 2 units of Horned Ones, so just a ton of armor-piercing cavalry. And these guys actually perform brilliantly. This is kind of what I wanted to show off. This is what I wanted to play with in this match. Also, I've got a couple of skink skirmishers. I wanted something really just dirt cheap that could just damage and poison slayers, really. So that's what they're there for. So anyway, speeding things up, because we're about to start the fight already. But as you can see, this guy has a very diverse line. So you see he's got Ungrim Iron Fist, he's got Dwarf Warriors in the middle, Longbeards on the outsides, Slayers on the outsides, 2 Grudge Throwers, which actually their rocks will do a ton of damage to cavalry even. It's surprising how well they do against cav, but if I had Temple Guard or anything like that, they could do some great work. Also, he has Iron Drakes, which are just superb at jarring skinks if you can get a good line of sight, which is tough to do. So here you can see Curse the Midnight Wind has landed on top of all these guys, so suddenly my skink cohort are actually doing okay against the Longbeards. And now all my cavalry is managing to get into the back. Here I've been trying to deal with the Slayers, but it's kind of tough. There's still a lot of them going. So my cavalry running into the middle as well, more Cold One Riders. My Horned Ones, they're still poised to get in, and already his front line is starting to suffer, especially on this side where the Curse the Midnight Wind was. But unfortunately these Slayers are getting a lot of work done, which is a real pity. But I have wrapped up a lot of his handgunners, which is very nice. Well, shall I say Thunderers. Zlak is completely fine. He hasn't been touched. Over here, these Slayers managed to keep busy with my skink skirmishers. I actually let them catch up to me, because if I kept running, he was going to run away. So I finally did run away, and then he ran back, which is annoying. But it means all my cavalry have now gotten into the back line. I used a banishment over here. Just, I'm not sure where that went, actually, but anyway. Here, ruination of cities. It doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but there's not a lot too blobbed up yet. But I wanted to hit them with what I could, when I could. Just get some extra damage in, help puncture through all of this stuff. So here, these Cold One Riders, they're having a wonderful time, but the Slayers have arrived, and that is a problem. So Lord Mazdamundi, he's just stomping around on everybody. Another Curse the Midnight Wind, I believe. Yep. So these guys are going to start suffering some more, so that's nice. So lower their melee attack. It has hit these guys, so their melee attack has been lowered substantially. So hopefully these Cold One Riders can survive a bit longer against all this. And that's a good thing. So we've got more units coming in. Unfortunately, those are the Cold One Riders that got caught out by the other Slayers, who are now here and very injured. I've been shooting at the Slayers quite a lot with my Skink Chiefs. So still got Cold One Riders ready to run in. My Horned Ones have been doing a heck of a lot of work. They basically just turned up and they got 50 kills. So yeah, they're great in this matchup. They are really good. Absolutely love them. Quite expensive though. I think they're 1,600. I think, or was it 1,400? They're quite expensive anyway, but against Dwarfs, they really get a lot of work done, so gotta love that. But, as you can see, most of my skinks are dead. He keeps getting rid of those, and I mean, that's not great, is it? Honestly. Yeah, there's still a lot of dwarfs. Still a lot of dwarfs. But Zach is still, you know, super happy. So that's nice. Still got my skink chiefs, plenty of ammo, so they can keep getting work done. Dwarf warriors are keeping all of that stuff at bay. But still got loads of horned ones. Just a ton of horned ones able to run around and smash all this stuff. And they are going to get a ton of value. Over here, though, blasting charges being thrown. I'll have to deal with them in a second. And Ungrim is still going, and he's doing alright. I think I started shooting at him around this time. I may have been shooting at him a little bit already, but we'll get to him. Anyway, Cold One Riders, they're ready to charge back in. I want to shut down these guys to let all these skinks pin this stuff in place. Also, I've got skink skirmishers just running through here, trying to keep this stuff busy, so it stops the Iron Drakes from firing, so that's nice. Unfortunately, though, Horned ones, they do rampage. The other Cold ones don't. It's only the Horned ones that rampage for Lizardmen. The other Cold One Riders and things, they're all fight. They will not rampage. But, yeah, the Horned ones will, which is a shame, because now they're sort of stuck in here, which is a bit of a pity. Also, they're kind of blocking in Mazdamundi. I do try and pull them out this way, and there's just so many Horned ones in the way that are rampaged, I can't get through them very well, which is definitely a pity. But a load of stuff is breaking. They just can't hold up against all of this nonsense. So now I've got a load more skinks that are ready to come back to the fight, and I've got some more Cold One Rides that are able to charge in, which will be very nice. Also, skink skirmishers, they're going to be harrying the artillery crews. Over here, though, amazingly, even charging into these guys in melee, they were still firing point blank into my skink skirmishers. So they can get some work done, the Iron Drakes, but they haven't had many opportunities to fire yet. So another ruination of cities. Does a ton of damage to my own Horned ones, but frankly, that was, well, the rest of the Dwarfs were here. So I may as well have just tried to hit them and do as much damage as possible, because frankly, Zlak's got this, as do the rest of these Cold One Riders. So here, there are actually still some Thunderers. They could get some good work done. But yeah, at this point, there's not a lot you can do. Cursed Midnight Wind's gone down again, so all of this stuff is going to be pretty ineffective, and the skinks will be able to mop it all up. So that is a Pyrrhic victory. But yeah, Cold One Riders, guys. So the Cold Ones, you know, the Cold One Riders, the standard ones, they went in first. They took the brunt of it. They were the ones that were immediately being chased down by Slayers, because they're a massive threat. They had to be taken down quickly, and they did, which seems like a bad thing. But these guys kind of exhausted the enemy, and my Horned ones came in and just murdered everybody. They just cleaned house. I mean, 107, 129 kills against Dwarfs. Anything that gets that many kills against Dwarfs is doing well. Because Dwarfs are, well, they're hard to kill, aren't they? They're stocky little sods. But this was beautiful. Horned ones, they did a fine job. Mazdamundi, 143 kills. And that's Mazdamundi with all those AoE spells. You expect him to get a lot of kills. But yeah, the Horned ones were competing with him, which is pretty awesome to see. So yeah, Horned ones. Pretty damn good. But I think you've got to bring some other stuff as camouflage, right? The Cold One Riders and the Horned ones, they look the same at a glance. So I think you need to bring some cheaper Cold One Riders, keep track of your Horned ones, and your Horned ones will be able to get all the work done, while the Cold One Riders just seem threatening and are attacked a lot. Right, I think that's how you want to play it. Also, just having skinks, it spares you the money to have the rest of it, but all you need the skinks to do is pin things down a bit and get in the way. Most of his front line was stuck fighting skinks. He could have run away, but the skinks could keep pace and just stab him in the back as they run. You know, it's difficult. You have no choice but to sit and fight the skinks, really, which means that all the cavalry can muck up the back line in a huge way. And anything that does come to try and support, these guys will still get good damage into them. So it's tough. It's definitely tough. So this kind of thing works surprisingly well. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. Oh, there goes the dog again. But yeah, pretty great. I enjoyed this. I wouldn't say this is necessarily the most competitive build. I prefer the Trollhammer torpedoes against Lizardmen, as you guys have seen. But yeah, it's not bad. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Got a bit of a sore throat today. I'm sure you can probably tell in my voice anyway. But yeah, Ungrim, he's been doing, you know, he was doing a pretty fine job, but I didn't really let him attack anything big, is the thing. I just had him bogged down on skinks and other nonsense. So it's very difficult to get value out of Ungrim when you have quite a mobile force. You know, all of my killing power was in mobility. So Ungrim was suddenly in a position where he couldn't shut down the mobility, and that's kind of what makes Ungrim good. He's good at killing the big dinos, but usually they run straight in. You know, you could rampage them with some Trollhammer torpedoes or something, and Ungrim will get a load of killing done. But I just didn't really give him the chance in this one, which is nice, because Ungrim is basically, he's almost always picked in this matchup. You almost always see Ungrim because of the anti-large and the armor piercing. So to be able to just sort of ignore him is great, because that's a lot of value that the Dwarfs will lose just from, yeah, you ignoring them, frankly. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say about this matchup, I don't think. This is just a nice alternative to the usual sort of Skinks and Croxigores or heavy dino builds that you often see. I think it's nice to go very cavalry heavy, because you rarely see that. So it's definitely worth a try, guys. It can do well. It can definitely do well. Although this is a big investment of cost. So if they do suddenly, you know, if they do somehow keep their backline protected, it can be difficult. But it's worth a try. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.